Welcome back to another Clayton Schick Outdoors video production, whatever you want to call it. Today's topic, today's species, today's fish is the northern pike, the jackfish, the sleuth shark, the fat mamas, etc. Goes on and on. Snakes, and they get, you know, like this. But anyways, yes, pike. We're gonna try to accomplish some underwater footage today. It's a nice day out. It's like -4, -5, so fishing outside should be no problem at all. That's -4 or 5 Celsius, by the way. You can see here I'm about, I don't know, 100 yards from shore, 150 yards. So I'm gonna pop. I've never fished this spot ever for pike, so this is a whole learning experience for me too. But mid-season, you can never go wrong with fishing shoreline stuff, something with a little bit of a drop off. So I'm gonna drop 3 holes here, or maybe 4 holes, check the depths, and then go from there. I'll explain more into the day of what my brain is thinking. But for now, I gotta pop some holes and check some depths. Let's go fishing. .5, 9.9, 8, and 5 feet. So I got 5 feet here, 10 feet out there. I'm gonna drop a bait in the 5-foot area and a 10-foot, and we're gonna go from there. I got that one hole all ready to go. Lures dropped. You can see the bait on the underwater camera. Visibility isn't amazing, but there is still a little bit of visibility. I'm gonna prep this hole here now with the new bait, and I'll take you guys through a step-by-step process with what's going through my mind, what I'm doing, explain the steps. Right now I have one hole drilled here, which is going to be for my camera, and then a little bit off of that I'm going to actually make a double hole. And this is just for the fact that you can get the pike up easier, especially a great big one, get it started up the hole easier. It's something I don't do a lot or often enough when I'm alone, and I should do it more. So I'm going to try to get into that habit of trying to drill double 10s when I'm alone. When it's really cold, singles are going to be a little bit easier because they won't freeze up as fast on you. But right now, with the new I-FishPros that I'll talk about here in a little bit, being insulated now, it gives you a better chance of things freezing up slower. They'll still freeze up, just not as fast. But so right now I'm going to prep this little area right here for the new bait, and like I said, take you guys through the next process, or the process as I call it. Okay, I got my double 10 hole drilled and a hole for the camera. I cleared off all the snow around here just to give a little bit better light penetration for the camera. It's not necessary at all. I'm gonna set up my rod here first, prep it all for the I-FishPro. So the first thing you're gonna put on here is some kind of a bobber stop here. These ones are pretty big and chunky, but they work for sure. I'll cut that off later, or I mean like trim down that little ends. And then I'm gonna put on, this is the end, or I should say the clip that comes with the I-FishPro here. And I'll pull out the I-FishPro here in a bit too, and explains everything what it comes with. You're gonna feed that onto your line. And then I run a little barrel swivel here. Tie that on next. I use a uni knot pretty much for almost anything, and I won't show you here how to do the uni knot. You can find that anywhere on the internet for sure, YouTube, Google, whatever. But I run a uni knot for almost every application, it feels like. We'll trim that tag end off right here. So then what I use here is, and you don't really read it very well because it's old, but I use American fishing wire. This is 7x7 strand. It's super tieable. It is awesome. What I'll use here on the barrel swivel side here is I'll do a saltwater loop knot, and all that is you kind of make like an overhand knot like that, but you don't pull it all the way tight. And then you'll take your barrel swivel, put it through that line, and then you're going to come through that loop that you just created. Speak English, Clayton. And then once you get through that loop, you're going to do 3 wraps on the top. 1, 2, 3. Come on. And then you're going to come back through that loop again that you created on the bottom, and you'll tighten up both ends. That is an awesome knot. It's what I use for all my flies too in the summertime. Anytime that a lure needs movement, it's a great knot. Saltwater loop knot. I think that's the name for it anyway. A friend taught me that knot down in Florida when I used to fish down there. Here, I'll take off these tag ends while I'm at it here. I keep double checking to see if my flag goes up at the same time, right? Because you never know. So then on that wire and this loop, I'll take about 18 inches off, probably something like that. And then again, here, what I'll actually do on the hook side, since I don't need it to be movable, I'll do a uni knot on here, and this wire is like crazy tieable. It's only 26 pound. As I can get up to probably like 65 pounds that I've gotten away with being able to tie, which is nice. Trick is right here, when you get right here to the uni knot, is you don't just cinch it down and pull. You kind of just move the knot down the base a little bit and then cinch it, move it down, and then finish your cinch. That'll do is if you cinch it right at the top and pull down, it'll end up pigtailing your wire. So that's what I do on this end. And then depending on how big of a bait you're going to use, and I'm going to go through a bunch of different baits here. I'm going to talk about that the next step after I get set up, is how big you set up your next your spread from your hook to your hook. Now what I'll do here is first is I'll actually, before I do anything, is I'll take the other hook that I'm going to use, and I'll do the same thing here with a new piece of wire, and I'll make a uni knot on this side. 1, 2, 3, and I'm cinching it down basically the same way, right? Like I'm not pulling it tight right away because I don't want to pigtail that wire. If you do pigtail it a little bit, it's not going to matter, but the longer you can keep it straight, the better. And I'll cut that tag off there. And then what I'll do is I'll cut probably about, say, 5-6 inches off of here. And then I'm going to end up attaching this to the shank. But what I'm going to do here before I even attach anything there is I'm going to start my uni knot right here. And I know I'm going to run a herring that's about 12 inches. So I only want probably about 3 inches apart, not too far, because this is the hook that's going to end up going in the nose. And I'll start my uni knot here without putting it on the hook yet. And this is just so you don't have all these hooks flying in your face here as you're tying. 1, 2, 3. And then what I'll do there is now I have that loop knot right there. And now all I got to do is take my hook, put it on top, and then I can cinch both ends here. See, sticky hooks, right? That's why you do it sooner, not sooner. Sticky hooks. And they'll be pretty good. It's maybe a little bit too far of a spread. It's probably about a 3.5, 4 inch spread, but I prefer about 1 inch shorter, but it will work. So then you'll take your bait, and for now I'm going to run store-bought herring here. I'll probably go to a Cisco after it thaws a bit. I have some different sizes as well. If you're going to run a smaller bait, maybe you only want to run 1 hook. So then I'll take my bait and I'll bury it in what I feel is like going to be about the center of the bait, maybe nose hanging down just a little bit right there with that center hook, that first hook you tied. And then the second hook you'll take and you're going to place it kind of in the snout here somewhere in the nose, because the most pike are usually going to hit this thing head on like this and grab it there. So you want the hooks facing to the back. And right there is how I do most of my quick strike rigs type of thing, you don't need big fancy wires kicking up and all that. I do run wire for the most part. I played around with fluorocarbon leaders a little bit, but I have had pike saw those fluoros right in half. Sucks. Still no flags. Okay, first step, not first step, but rod's ready here. I'm going to pull out the I-FishPro and we're going to talk about that just a little bit. Okay, I-FishPro 2.0. So what the 2.0 means, it's new this year. Levi has changed the pattern a little bit here, and he added an insulated base. So this is going to keep your holes from freezing up a little bit. They're still going to freeze up eventually because you do have this still a little bit of a slot in here. Cold air is going to get in there, right? It's still going to freeze up. There's things you can put under there too, like in the water, that'll keep things open longer. And I know the Conrads, the fishing geeks, they use some insulated pads and they make circles and they do a really good job when they're all their stock trout keeping their holes open. But it's only -4, -5 today, so I shouldn't need anything like that at all. I-FishPro comes with an extra set of clips, which is super handy because we all know we lose those clips like crazy. I already have a clip tied on there, so there's nothing to that. So what I'm going to do now is grab my depth finder, put it over here, and that hole's about 10 feet. I'm going to go down probably about 6 feet in the middle of the water column somewhere. You don't always have to go right tight to the bottom. Pike do have eyes on top of their head and they look up all day. They'll come up for a bait if they're cruising the bottom. Whereas if there's a pike that's cruising, you know, a couple feet underneath the surface, he's less likely to see that bait that's on the bottom. So don't be scared to rise your baits up a little bit sometimes. Okay, super simple here. Open your bail, get your line started down the hole, and then as it's falling, I'm going to set it, pull this clip up, or this slip knot I should say. Slip knot, words Clayton, bobber stop. Pull, you know it's going to be sitting like right here, so that's where you kind of want to pull it to, right to the depth you want. So I'm going down, so I'm going right there. I'm at 5.5 feet, so middle of the water column basically. And I'll take my flag here, I'll put it down, take the clip, put it over, and done. And then of course we want to reel up all this line that I made a mess with there. And actually I have it on the wrong, this clip, just I should put it with the line on the other side here so when it comes through it doesn't interfere with anything. Okay, right there. That'll pull off, nothing to it. You can use the rod holder here on them. I like, for the longer rods, this is a 43 inch. I like to put it in the snowbank though and give it just a little bit better of an angle. Too harsh of an angle like this, right? The line won't free fall or free spool as good as it will if it has, you know, an angle, something like that. Keep your bail open on your rod and reel. It's just a nice way to tip up fish where you can actually fight the fish on the rod and the reel. I quite enjoy it, I'm not gonna lie. So I got 2 baits down. Now let's get the underwater camera set up over here. Okay, so I'm using Aqua Vu 7 HD 7 HDI Pro, HD7 I Pro, HD7 I Pro. That's the camera I'm running. That's the camera that's on that hole too. And it can be a little bit harder to pick up your bait when it's suspended to find it with your camera. So what I like to obviously try to do is drop it down to start with, or hopefully the way that my camera or my lure is facing, right? So move this for a second right there. I'm gonna try to drop it straight down this way because I know my bait is facing that way relatively. And you try to hope you can see it, you know, in the first, oh, right there, drop down, which I did. I got really, really lucky. Really lucky. A lot harder when it's suspended. It's not on the bottom. You don't have anything to compare to, right? Like, I don't have it recording yet, so you guys aren't going to see me finding it, but you will see the bait here once I get it all set it up and recording. Aver Media 2 is what I record with. If you guys are curious about how I do record on these in more detail, I have a video out that you can find on my channel, and it goes into a little bit more detail. Not crazy, but a little bit. Get that into the recording here. Okay. Power the unit up with a Mophie power pack on this one. Sometimes I'll double it up with my Dakota power packs, but I'm gonna have my Dakota power packs running the GoPros today. Okay, so that is power. We have red. Should be blue. Come on. Oh, there we go. Turn blue. Click it, and then it should blink red for recording. Yes. Okay. Try to keep an eye on those so they're always recording, Clayton. And now let's, fingers crossed, hope that we get some pike. I think what I might do is, even if I don't catch any pike on this video, is still use this as like an introduction, because I want to spend some time out on this lake. I'm not going to say where I am yet. I'm fishing a new lake for pike for me in the winter time, so I'm going to spend some time out here for sure, searching a little bit. Be nicer to have probably a couple more lines in the water. Carter's with me, but he's over farther out there walleye fishing. I decided today just to kind of let me get set up and figure out a program here, and then maybe I'll take him out tomorrow and we'll run 4 I-FishPros or something like that and see if we can score some pike. I think I want to adjust this bait a little bit. It's pointed down a little bit too nose. I want more horizontal right now. Yeah, I like the way that's sitting now. Okay, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Oh, 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 oh. We got a flag, we got a flag, we got a flag. We got a flag, we got a flag, we got a flag. He's peeling. He's peeling hard. He's peeling hard. Peeling hard. Peeling hard. That's recording. I'm gonna get a better angle here. Oh, he's going hard. He's going. He's going. Okay. He's going. I got good angles here. I'm going to tighten up and I'm going to hit him right now. There we go. Got him. I can't tell for size. Oh, gotta let him run. Ooh, not bad. Not bad. He's over by the truck. No idea on the underwater camera what it's even gonna look like. Kind of excited to look at the footage myself. Drag's a little tight from lake trout fishing. Right on. I should have pulled that camera up first, maybe. Ooh, there's some weight here. I'm on that camera, I think, a bit. But that's okay. Got a big hole, it's wide enough. It's gonna be easy to get that camera off if I have to. Ooh, it feels good. Can't tell for sure, can't tell. It doesn't feel that big. I got live all ready here just in case I need to run it to it. Come on, baby. Yeah, I'm on my camera. Come on. come on. Ooh, it's not bad. It's not small. It's not big, but it's not small. Okay, cleared the camera. Cleared the camera quick. Saw the fish. It's not that big. I'll know in the future to before I set the hook here that oh, there we go, girl. Here we go. Just hooked right in the corner. Nice fish. Not a monster, but not bad at all. Pike. We're on the board with the pike. Awesome. Awesome. Just hooked right in the corner here. Okay, we got her out. We'll get her back. Or I should say we got the hook out and we'll get her back down. But we're on the board. A little bit later in the day already. Haven't had a lot of action, but it's something, right? I got a video anyway. I'll get this one going again here quick, and then I'll talk to you guys quickly about baits a little bit, and hopefully we can snag one more yet before the day's over. A couple different bait options that you could use for tip-up fishing for pike. Of course, there's many others too, and I'm like breaking one of my own cardinal rules right now. I have the same style of bait on both tip-ups right now. Now, I did get a false flag on one and I did catch one, so I do have some confidence with that. But I'm using a bigger herring. But another style of bait here is, this is a smelt, and this is what they call it on the packaging, a large Cisco, and then here you have a smaller Cisco. Now, to me, these are the large Ciscos, which I never even pulled out yet. I use more later in the year, come to March time when they're looking for a great big meal. Right now, you could get away with something like this, something small, one little treble hook right in the top, in the back there. You don't need too big of a bait for pike always. A great example, there's a video if you go to Jay Seaman's channel, the end of the year last year up at Athapap Lake, Athapapiscow, he was using tiny bait like this and I was running big bait. He creamed me, like I think 4 or 5 to 1. He caught some really nice fish too, a couple 40 inchers. Yes, he crushed me on a smaller bait. You don't always have to use big bait, but like I said, I'm breaking a cardinal rule right now. I'm using the same bait, but I do have some confidence in that herring. They just look good in the water. They sit nice. So yeah, fishing is fun. Well, that'll do it for this video. It's about 10 minutes from being complete black, maybe 15 minutes. I know that doesn't look like it on this camera, but this camera has amazing low light capabilities. I got like no visibility on the Aqua Vus right now, so that pretty much wraps up what I was after today. It's a short video, I know, one fish. One thing I didn't cover was something like a hook size. Hook size is really depending on the size of your bait more than anything, but don't be scared to use smaller than you think. If you're gonna make your own rigs like that, you usually can get away with a smaller hook. You don't have to use something too big by any means. Look at me use my hands. Big, small, small, big, 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 small. But yeah, so like I said, short video. I could do more information here about rods, line, all that type of stuff, but I'm going to save that for future videos. We'll consider this kind of the start to a little pike series here for the winter. I'm trying to put some big mamas on the ice this winter. I have a feeling I will. It'll just take some time and some commitment, bouncing around to some different lakes, maybe finding some key structures, key areas, whatever. But we'll just consider this the start of the journey to icing a 45-inch plus pike this winter. That's the goal, 45-inch plus pike. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, get outside.